All right, back here with episode 33 of the GameFi Rundown. I think we're going to call this one the PvP edition because we just got PvP. It just came out a few days ago. And because of that, I made sure we got Viper on here, which I'm saying right now is the best player we have till someone comes along and beats him and says GG. Um, but Viper, thanks for coming on. First, congratulations on making IMC. That's a pretty big deal, getting a big time gamer on there. But thanks for coming on.
No, happy to be here. Always happy to like talk and I don't know, just give whatever answer whatever people want to know of me, basically.
Yeah, definitely. When we get to this last segment here, pro tips, that's all you. I'm not giving any pro tips. Hoping we'll get that from you and a
That's
little
what
bit from
Jimbo.
Jimbo. Yeah.
Yeah, Jimbo knows everything.
I'll give you like the Dollar General version of pro tips. Like that's all I got. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Jimbo, thanks for coming back again.
Yep, I'm excited. I'm so
All right.
pumped.
Well, let's just get right into this because this is pretty much what we were talking about before I even clicked start. I mean, first impressions of this. Like, is this what you expected? Is this everything it is? Like, I mean, Viper, what do you think?
I'm really happy with everything overall. I mean, if we realistically look at this, right, it's an early access start. We had like list of a couple like really obvious bugs and a couple of really not obvious bugs on the first day, and literally less than 24 hours, it's fixed. And I haven't encountered anything crazy yet. I'm like, this is just a good game. I can play it. I have a lot of ideas on what to try out. Like, I have one thing that I think is the best. Okay, I've really good win rate with that. But there's a lot of things where I feel like, well, this could win, this could beat that. So there's a lot to try. There's a lot to figure out still. I'm really, really happy with everything overall. And yeah, I mean, team is like ahead on every fix, like small changes and so on. Really, really happy.
Yeah. The biggest thing that I keep thinking is that I haven't had a game where I would just go to work during the day and all I could think about is getting home to play that game. And so this is the first time I've had that feeling in years. And that alone just makes me excited for this. Jimbo, what about you? I know
Bro,
you're
I'm
excited.
I'm
You came
so
in with the
pumped.
biggest smile on your face.
Yeah, dude, I've just been having the time of my life, man. Especially like with the help from Viper and some of the other people like explaining different mechanics in the game and how to play this or that. It's just been so much fun. And yeah, like this is what Web3 gaming is supposed to be. Like this is actually a fun game. It just happens to have blockchain elements next to it. And I've been having so much fun just destroy. I actually played. I'll bring that up later, but yeah, it's been so much fun. Been playing constantly. I'm not saying anything. I'm just like super pumped. I don't know.
Yeah, at first I thought I would need to wait until we get to open beta when we're actually on chain for me to really get into it. But like I said, I just want to play. Like it's gonna be awesome when we're on chain, but it's fun no matter what. If this had no NFTs or anything coming in the future, I'd still want to play it.
Oh yeah, and I've been streaming has been so much fun as well, and
Yeah,
also like Viper streams are incredible. I'm not just glazing because he's on here; like they really are really fun to watch.
Uh,
Yeah, but and
oh,
if you want to learn something, you can watch Viper stream. If you want to laugh at someone who's bad, you can watch mine. Those are your two options.
yeah. Thank you,
yeah,
no, thank you, Jimbo. But to the point of just like a game I want to play, right? I literally should have went to sleep yesterday at like maybe 1 a.m. or like it's like my normal time, and I was spending literally 2 hours just thinking, okay, what new teams can I build? What can I do? What can I combine this with? What are people currently playing? What can I do against that and this and so on? And I was just like, I couldn't sleep. I was just thinking about what to do the next day. I haven't had that in, I don't know, like 8 years or something, maybe like forever, basically.
yeah. I'm right there with you. I need to start working up the ranks though. I need to watch more of your streams. Are you just on Twitch or are you doing it on YouTube as well?
No, it's just on Twitch. I
Just
was really
Twitch.
thinking about doing YouTube as well, just like multi-stream, but I don't know. I just can't convince myself to go for it. It probably is like really stupid, but there's no good reason for it, honestly.
Well, for anyone watching, I will link his Twitch down below, so go check it out. Let's move on to this next topic. So, this was something you had just mentioned it, Viper, but how quickly patch notes came out over the first couple days. I saw a ton of people using like that whole empath build where they had like a bunch of typos, and it's like you couldn't break through that shield or wherever it was creating. And there's a couple of other like bugs. Everyone was talking, oh, these need to get fixed, but how quick that happened. Like, is this going to be something that we're going to see ongoing forever? Are we going to see patches come out real quick, or do you think it's going to slow down on that end?
I think there's a difference between like a small number balance patch and like some really annoying thing with bugs, right? Like in the last patch, I would say, okay, like to my extent, I was like, okay, I'm like fine with the empath thing because I just played it myself and I just won every single mirror match. So I was like, okay, this is a good game because I have enough agency in the game that I play the same thing as my opponent, but I win literally every single game because I have like some small adjustments and changes and make some different decisions and so on. So I was like not unhappy with that. But then obviously a lot of people, well, I don't want to play with unkillable empaths. Now that build has changed a bit, and I think it's still close to just unkillable clump, and you still have to play the counter against it, or it doesn't, you lose. So I'm happy about the patch notes in that regard, that it's not dead. Like you can still play the strategy, it's just a bit less oppressive, and there are like other options against it. And I guess moving in the future, a bunch of like small changes, like small numbers adjustment, like we saw with fire and earth and so on. I think that's probably going to be really frequent and really like quickly, because obviously the balance of the game, especially because it is going to be a blockchain game and people will own those assets, and we probably don't want like super speculative jumps on things for crazy buffs and nerfs. Like this is not going to be a like Yu-Gi-Oh banned list kind of thing where, oh, there's like an announcement dropping every few months and some cards go from $100 to $10 and some other card goes from $2 to $20 or something like that. We don't want that. So I think frequent changes to figuring out a lot of stuff, and also to learning the right response to if something is too good, that we know like, okay, do we nerf it by 10, 15, 20%? What's the deal with this? Yeah, I think that's good, and I think the team is going to be ahead of that.
Yeah, I think it's great. Like we're months away from getting on chain. So in an ideal world, by the time we get to that point, everything is pretty balanced. You know, that all the exploits have been used and patched up. So that's pretty exciting. Like imagine if everything was on chain right now and the game just came out. There'd be a lot more problems. But Jimbo, what do you think? Anything in this patch notes that stood out to you?
I didn't even look through them. I don't care. Like
No,
most
you're
of the
just like
stuff.
I'm just gonna try whatever.
No, I mean like a lot of the stuff that when the game first came out, it didn't really matter to me because I knew like the empath thing was gonna get fixed, which they're still like kind of strong, right? But it's not like stupid like it used to be. Dude, if you played empath on day one, you had high estrogen. I hate you and I want you to die. Just kidding. But like actually that was so annoying. Like sometimes I would load into the game and if I saw it was an empath team, I would just surrender and go to the next. I couldn't be asked. And I wasn't gonna play that. I'm very
I don't
salty.
know. I was happy about seeing every single empath I played against. It's
Yeah,
like
but you're actually good and you
100%
knew how
win
to
rate.
outplay it, right? So
I
that's
mean, I
not
also
bad.
just played it myself. So I
Yeah.
thought, no, I thought like on that note, I really thought the empath mirror was really enjoyable to play because it was really skillful. I think there were so many things you could do right and wrong. Like that was actually enjoyable mirror match to play.
Yeah. I hate doing
I'm
the like
coping.
I hate playing the builds that everybody else is playing, but like I had just got demolished by it so many times that I'm like, all right, let me put together one of these. So I play somebody, I beat them, and then all of a sudden I get a ping in Discord being like, "What are you playing with that trash deck for?" I'm like, I just tried it out. Like, come on. But yeah, I really don't like it. I only tried it because it was working. Yeah, let's move on here. This is a new promo or partnership that just happened. Team Liquid. I've never heard about them before this. Yeah, so Team Liquid. So I don't know if you guys know more about who they actually are, but this is I mean, it's a partner with Illuvium, and the three big things that they announced are another Illuvitar promo, just like the last one with GameStop, and I'll bring up those pictures in a second. And then there's going to be I don't know if this is one tournament or if this is multiple tournaments with $100,000 as a prize pool, which is pretty exciting for Viper over here. He's about to make bank.
And me. Like I can
Oh
win.
yeah, Jim. If it pays out like top 32, you might get like 31st place.
Fuck off.
It's better than me because I don't plan on placing at all in these. but or at least not yet. I'll get better. But I mean, yeah. What do you guys think of this so far? Team Liquid, Jimbo. How about you? What do you think?
Bro, Team Liquid is my favorite esports team. I'm not even joking. Like,
You
I
knew who
used to
they were before this?
yes, of course. Dude, back
Everyone
to
in
back
Web 2
to back
knows.
to back
Like,
LCS champions.
yeah.
I'm not even joking. I promise on my life. I cried when they made it to the MSI finals in 2019 in League. I cried because NA was so bad for so long, and then they finally got to the finals, and I just, bro, like, I love Team Liquid. I love Steve. Steve, their CEO, is like genius. Super like. I just love Team Liquid as a whole. They have that like go get it attitude and get the win no matter what, whatever the cost is. We're gonna do it. And yeah, I love Team Liquid. I've been watching them since they started. Like since the organization was formed, I've been watching them. So like it, and I whooped Steve's ass. If his username is Liquid112 when he played in pro. This is the CEO, and that name popped up against me in ranked, and I whooped his ass. So if that's actually him, get shit on, bud. But yeah, I've been watching them since the beginning.
Help me understand this. Maybe you guys know better. So there's eight of these streamers or players, whatever you want to call them, right here. But there's obviously a lot more than this on Team Liquid. So are these just like the group that's going to be playing Illuvium? That they just committed to I don't know, playing competitively for Illuvium? Do you know what that's about?
It's the people that are gonna like stream and such, right? Those are the 8 that I think have like scheduled streams and things like that, I believe.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
esports orgs, they have signed like streamers. Like they're not actually like they're usually ex pros, but they're sometimes just content creators, and they stream and they're signed under that esport org. So that's where most of these people are coming from. Like Broxy used to play for Team Liquid, and he's an ex pro now, but now he's signed to Team Liquid and streams for them.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Like people like Sunbacon Relax. That's somebody I know from Hearthstone times, for example. I mean, he's just playing Battlegrounds nowadays. Used to be playing Battlegrounds when I was like going out of Hearthstone as well. And there was never like a big esports scene for that, right? There were like some tournaments every now and then. Obviously, you cared to qualify for that. Like really, really good player, like rank 1 Battlegrounds player, pretty much. But there's not a big esport behind him, right? He's signed to Liquid because he's a streamer essentially, not because or like some tournament thing.
So when are you going to get the invite to join Team Liquid?
I think I've told that story on stream. I was actually, how do I put that? I was kind of pissed that in 2020 they didn't make me an offer for because in 2020 they were looking for Hearthstone players they really cared about the Chinese tournaments and competitions. They didn't really care about like any of the Western world or things that Blizzard organized and so on. And I was under contract with someone else at the time, but I was friends with like half of the or like friends, colleagues, like good relationships at least, with like half, if not more than half of the Liquid Hearthstone Battlegrounds people back then. And I played both games as well. So I was like, why did you not just like DM me and ask me like, can I get out of my contract? Like, I don't know. I was annoyed at that, but no. In general, had to do know a lot of people that went to Liquid. I think everybody had pretty positive experience with the team overall. I good terms with everybody there, so I don't know. I'm really hyped about Liquid. I think that's really, really cool org to be partnered with and to do things with. Also, I don't know, even when you said like, do I know about Liquid? I mean, I've watched League of Legends since like season 2, 3. So I'm like, yeah, I know Team Liquid. It's pretty common name. Then obviously in Hearthstone they were active as well, and so on TFT. They're probably the most active one in TFT at all. Like they have a lot of streamers and people playing. I think like Saint Vicious, for example, is just TFT nowadays, and Snooty Boo and so on is like playing the European TFT tournaments and so on. So yeah, so that's a really, really high partnership.
Yeah, and you'd have to imagine with this partnership, they're going to be putting together an Illuvium team for big tournaments, right? Maybe
If
you get
Illuvium
that
works
offer.
out, for sure, right? Like they still have a lot of StarCraft players, and they have players in like not only like the S tier games, for example. So yeah, I was thinking if Illuvium like turns out big, the thing goes well. Of like right now they get good feedback, and it's not just like negative press and whatever. The sale goes well, and so on. I can imagine that they would care about that for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So one last thing with Team Liquid here. Look at these alluvials that are gonna be coming out for, or the Illuvitars that are gonna be coming out for the promo. So similar to the GameStop promo that happened a few months back, we got 6 new Illuvitars. These these look a lot better than the GameStop ones. Not gonna lie, they have different portraits. I'm not sure, well, Jimbo. I know you're not that much into Illuvatars. Viper, I'm not sure about you, but are you gonna be picking up some of these promo discs?
Oh, I'll probably buy a couple, maybe a lot. I don't know. Like I bought like some GameStop ones for the display. Pretty much when they announced, okay, well, you get this special display if you buy 15. I was like, I guess I buy 15. Like that's fine. I wanna have the cool poster thing. For this, I actually like care about them. I don't know if I'm gonna open them, to be honest, because I don't know, I come from the like TCG background, so having like sealed packs is pretty cool for me. So I'll probably just buy them and keep them. But these one I like them a lot. So
Yeah,
I'll for sure get some.
every different disc that there is so far, I have a few that I picked up that I just didn't open for like a long-term hold. But I've been in the top 100 for the leaderboard, so I've been actively opening all these. So I'm not sure at the price point. I'm not sure if these are going to be any cheaper or if they're still going to be around that $50. But I'm definitely going to pick up a handful of them, keep some of them unopened, and then hopefully try to get that ram fee in here. What about you, Jimbo?
Yeah, I'm not huge into Illuvatars. I like them, but I mean, if it was TSM, I would not buy any. But like since it's Team Liquid, bro, I'm actually kind of hyped for it. I'm not gonna lie. Plus, these are the best looking Illuvatars that there've been.
Oh yeah,
Honestly, like they
look at
look
that ram
so
fee.
good. And yeah, and I just want. I'll probably just buy the discs and then buy like the exact one that I want separately. But
Yeah,
I'm for sure going to get at least because I want the profile picture. I just the history of Team Liquid being with Illuvium, like I need that in my life.
yeah. Actually, that's probably a pretty good strategy. Like, pick up a few of these, don't open them, and then when people start throwing them onto the market, just buy them up cheap. You could probably get the tier 0, 1, and 2 fairly cheap. But if you want those other ones, you're probably gonna have to pull them out of a either pay some big money for them or pull them out of a disc. But those are pretty cool. I'm excited for that. There's not a date on that, but I know they want to do it before this wave 2 ends, which is supposed to end January 15th. You figure they're going to have this open for at least a week. It's probably coming, sometime in December, end of December. But we'll get more news on that sometime soon. Let's move on here. So this is something that I was just thinking about the other day, being like, we're definitely missing some alluvials in PvP right now. And there's like a whole, I wouldn't say a meta is forming yet, but I'm sure over the next couple of weeks, like you'll know what you need to play. And then how are these new alluvials going to like mix up everything? Yeah. So basically we're missing 6 different lines. So that's 18 different alluvials that are going to get thrown in here. And some of the notable ones are Monarch, which is Inferno and Phantom, which is exactly what Ramfire is. So all of a sudden, Ramfire is going to have some nice synergies going on there. And then you got, I'm not even familiar with these names, TB Ruko and Riley.
Riley is the shock, like panda-ish, bear-ish thing. I don't know what animal it is, but
It's a
it
red
has
panda,
shock
I
for
think.
sure. So that's really good for this quiz line.
Yeah. And the other one's also shock. Both of these are shock. The Tibu Ruko, which I think is the double kangaroo thing.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's going to be shock.
we have 3 shock. We're gonna have 3 shock Illuvius. I actually
Yeah.
didn't know that.
So yeah, and there's not a lot of options in here to get that 4th synergy stack on many things. Like I know right now you can do it on Mud. Is that it?
Yep.
Can you get a 4th stack on anything else right now?
If you get the +1 from the legendary augments, otherwise it's only mud.
Yeah. What about classes? Is there Invoker? No.
With ranger, yeah.
Yeah, with the Ranger. You
Oh,
get
yeah.
the 4 stacks. So then Shock will be added into that with the Aphisto. So that's gonna be, I mean, I'm not the pro here, but I'd imagine there's gonna be some builds around Aphisto and Ramfire coming when these new alluvials come in.
I think my take on Ramfire, especially also right now, I mean Ramfire plays a lot, but I think Ramfire itself is not very good. I think it's mainly the Ranger with Gauntlet and Inferno trait that's very good, because you can play around Ramfire in like a good amount of ways, but it's so hard to play around the Ranger because it's an assassin that you can just reposition every round for free and targets the furthest enemy. It does a lot of damage, and Inferno just does a lot of damage. So I think when Monarch comes in, there's going to be two options, right? Either you play for they use their abilities and they hit the enemies actually, or they just use ability and Inferno wins you the game. I think right now Inferno feels very strong. But I also think everything is balanced for the current existing Illuvians and not for what will like come in the future.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, I think when they add in that extra Inferno Alluvial, it'll probably need to get nerfed. And the Gauntlet, do you think that needs to be nerfed just in general right now? This is a random question.
Isn't it already nerfed a little bit? I think the patch notes mentioned that it is nerfed.
I'm not sure. I'm just not seeing anything other than Gauntlet or really it's mostly Gauntlet unless they have an empath team or it's round 1 with Toxic.
I mean, I think the Bulwark shield, I mean, yeah, it should exist and so on, but like what like carry bonding will you do with a Ranger Bulwark shield, right? That's like an early game thing for like Toxic or Behemoth Magma or like things like that, I think. Then, yeah, I don't know, Sword, I feel like Sword should be really good, but Sword Ranger also does a lot of damage, but I've tried some Behemoth builds and things like that with Jotun and so on. I would like to play Sword with Magma maybe, that's really good, but then you can't switch to the Scoriox bonding and so on, so there are like some issues with that. I guess one really, okay, the probably main reasons why we see so many gauntlets is we have Scoriox and Phosphorus. Those are like prime carry alluvials, and they have Arcanite, and the gauntlet is usually better than the fighter option for that. So you want to just like Ranger Gauntlet plus the fighter version of those alluvials. Fighter is also the better thing that if you get the hyper bonus, you get a class specified bonus from your dominant, and fighter is better for the Arcanite alluvials by like a really, really big margin compared to Psion. So you always want to play the fighter dominant Arcanite alluvials. So then you kind of just have to go Gauntlet on the Ranger. And then the other option, you have like some like backline damage win condition. Then you have Invokers, well, you need the Gauntlet. You have Ramfire, well, you prefer to play the Gauntlet because then the Ranger is ranged and doesn't get attacked as much and just stays alive. And then we kind of run out of things to do already, right? Because we're missing some of these lines, so we miss some of the composite synergies, so we miss like a lot of the options that we could have. And yeah, I think there's probably a lot more exploring to do with especially the dagger and sword, because those are really, really good weapons by themselves. And you can probably make some very, very strong ranger combinations out of that, basically. Yeah, Gauntlet is also it's just a super safe option because it's just like range, it does a lot of damage, it does AoE damage, it scales throughout the fight and so on. There's very little you can mess up with. And with daggers and sword, you can mess up a lot. Like the ranger gets targeted, the ranger gets killed. They're just melee, so they tend to just die and run into like random AoE and things like that.
Yeah, so you know what? I feel like I have a good understanding of this game. Some of the things that you're talking through there, I feel like is going to go over a ton of people's heads. So I'm going to move on to this next segment here, pro tips. But give us some tips that are going to be easy to understand if you're not too great at this game, you want to work up the rankings, maybe you're just downloading it for the first time. What would you suggest like a good starting point? Like what should you focus on to, build up a decent deck to start climbing the leaderboards? And Jimbo, I know you probably have some good ideas for this too.
Well, I think, let me first. No, I think Illuvium, in terms of like how to get into the game, it is one of the more easy games to get into, especially if you want to compare it to TFT, that people like very commonly compare the game to. But I think they are very fundamentally different, and there's like some different skill sets and so on. I literally recorded a video talking about that. I don't know if it will be released when this will be released or not. No, I think that TFT is always like compared because of the auto battle element, but to get into TFT, you load into the game, you have no idea what to do with those item components, you have no idea which units to buy, you have no idea how to play the economy, you have no idea when to level, you have no idea when to roll, you don't know what to pick on the carousel, you don't know which augments to pick. Like nothing makes sense to you when you log into that game, and you probably need to watch hours of guides and streams to have like a remote idea what you're supposed to be doing, to be honest. You look at Illuvium and it's like, okay, this is a nature bulwark. Okay, I put 2 more nature bulwarks to that. Now I need something that maybe does damage. Okay, these are fighter and psion. They are like dealing damage, right? Those are damage traits. I put some Psi plus a fitting element, maybe Psi nature, because I already have these natures, and you can just go from there. So I think getting into Illuvium is tremendously easier than getting into like TFT or Battlegrounds or any of these other auto betters that are based around shops and economy and knowledge breakpoints and so on. That's that's incredibly good selling point for the game as well, because getting somebody to play TFT now is like, is rough to get into, right? We have had people like Terran. I was like, yeah, I've logged in, played one game, no idea, never again. It's like just very, very beginner unfriendly game. It is a really good game to sink thousands of hours into, because the ceiling is incredibly high and like almost humanly impossible to reach. But I think the same is going to be true for Illuvium, because the ceiling in terms of positionings and just in terms of like what do you actually put in your team, how do you cover all of the things that your opponents could be doing, that's a really, really high ceiling. So on the tip side for positioning, I would say never think in absolutes when it comes to this game. Think about, you could do this, you could try that. Don't think, oh, I have these frontline Illuvians, they have to stick together. No, you can be like wherever. They have to be at the middle of the line. No, they can be, I don't know, 10 hexes, 20 hexes, 30 hexes away from the middle line. It doesn't have to be that they can walk up. They can maybe intercept some enemy Illuvians. They can split the enemy focus and so on. So don't think in absolutes. Try out different positionings. Put melee Illuvians in the middle of the board. Put ranged Illuvians in the middle, not at the backline sometimes. Things like that, basically. Just try out a whole lot of things, and when you see how something works, look at the cool graphics in the fight, and just, I don't know, just closely look at what's happening.
Yeah. So would you say that you would recommend being like more proactive or like reactive on the board? Like, are you waiting to see what they do and counter it, or are you kind of like going strong with your strategy and making them counter you?
Oh yeah, I guess that's a really good part on the beginner-friendly side, where I would say you can just like map out, how do I spend my first 100 points? What's like a strong thing to do? Okay, the next turn, how do I spend 100 extra points? If the third turn, now I have 120. Before the game, you can map out in your head with your team, how do you do these turns and which Illuvials you play. And while the game is happening, you can look at what does the other guy have, and then you can think about how do you position it. But I would really suggest like map out what you do before, maybe write it down, write down some different ideas, even on my opponent plays this affinity, then I do the different thing or something like that. And yeah, that makes it beginner friendly. Essentially, you just think about what to do, and you can repeat doing that, and you can go and learn from there. I kind of lost the question now.
No, I'm saying being like reactive versus like
Oh,
being
yeah.
proactive, like going, yeah, because sometimes I find myself like stuck in the middle. Like sometimes I want to just go with my strategy and make them like make a mistake basically, and sometimes I'm just like, let me sit back. I know they have a rogue. Wait till they play the rogue so then I can counter it. And I don't know what the best strategy is yet.
I think you can like preemptively position against a lot of those things where it's like, okay, at some point they will play the rogues, so I'm not gonna play all my tanks in the middle of the board, the front line essentially, right? I just like put some in the back. Maybe if they only play rogues, they play no fighters, for example, or like no like melee high damage Anubius. They play like maybe one bulwark or something. Okay, whatever. Like your carry can literally sit in front of the Groggo and be attacked by it. It's not gonna die to a Groggo. And you can just, from the beginning of the game, put all the tanks that you have in the back line, or you start out putting them in the back line and you see is the other guy playing the rogues or not. But like moving from front to back, that's difficult, right? But if they just start in the back line, they can just walk up anyways. Like they don't have to be there.
Jimbo, I see you shaking your head at everything Viper says. What else? What do you got to add on to this?
Do what I just did and listen to people who are better than you. Like, but seriously though, go on Twitch, watch people play, and ask questions. Especially like right now when there's actually a good bit of people watching on Twitch right now, but still there's not so many that you can't ask these good players questions, and most of them are going to answer you. So don't be annoying about it, but just watch, listen, take it all in. Watch videos on YouTube. At the end of the day, I think once you get the basics down by watching content, you can really sink your teeth deeper into it, and then that's when you can kind of play around. That's when the game actually gets fun, when you understand the fundamentals, and then you can build on top of that. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on that one. Have fun as well. If you're having fun, you'll learn a lot faster. Don't get too stressed out about it. don't be butthurt. There's a surrender option. So if you're playing against a team that's too bad, just fucking give up, bro. It's not worth getting mad.
Yeah. I guess I had a little different strategy than that. My idea was just hop into the game and play as much as I can before I start watching Viper and all those other people. I want to get a good understanding of, because if you just go and watch Viper, like, and you haven't touched the game yet, you're probably not going to understand anything of what he's saying. So I say get in there, play some matches, get a little understanding of what the wordings are and in what different alluvials do. And then when you go to watch these streamers go on Twitch, then you understand what they're saying better. And I think you can soak it in more. So I think that's at the point where I'm at. I've been playing for, I don't know, almost a week now. And I really haven't been watching too many streamers, but now I'm going to start watching Viper streams. I'm going to start watching your streams. And then I'm going to start climbing up the leaderboards.
I'm not gonna promise you're gonna learn anything from my stream, except that you can laugh at me sometimes, or sometimes I say some things that are pretty funny. So if you want,
I'll go to your stream for a laugh, and then I'll go to Viper's to learn.
There you go.
All right. Well, I think that was actually a fantastic episode. We learned a lot. Viper, thanks for coming on. I'm definitely gonna be watching your videos. I'm gonna link your Twitch down below, your YouTube down below. Thanks. Again, congrats on IMC. Since no one wanted to congrats me, thanks everyone out there for voting for me for the community council.
Congrats on
Jimbo. Congrats.
Congrats.
I don't know, totally spaced out. Sorry.
That's another reason why Jimbo's so excited right now, because he knows he just handed over all of that to me, and now I'm going to be the one dealing with it.
Yeah, good luck. Have fun.
But no, definitely, Jimbo, you're not completely out of it, because I'm going to be asking you questions if I need to figure anything out about
that's fine.
Community Council. And Viper, I'm looking forward to working with you for another epoch, another 9 months at least.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good, and this epoch, the game is definitely coming out. I'm going to say that with confidence.
Sure.
It'll be out this epoch. I'm glad I'm on the council for this, and thanks everyone for voting for me. Viper, Jimbo, any last words before we end this? Have fun.
How it was already ended, and we were just like hanging out. No.
This is still going.
Nice.
But I can't end it right now. All right. Well,
no. Like, big congrats on the community council as well. I think the next epoch is probably gonna be a lot less troublesome and stressful than the last one was. So like experimenting new systems, like so many people in there, and I think, I don't know who said it anymore, but I think somebody mentioned it's like a lot of people who didn't really have a lot of vested interest in the game and the game succeeding even. They were kind of just like there for the sake of being there or doing something. And the next epoch, everybody is so invested in this working out. Everybody just like wants to see Illuvium succeed like so badly. I think it's going to be a really good epoch. I think the game's going to come out. Everything is going to work out great. The early access, it's so successful. Like, realistically, think about it. The game is like almost 5 stars on Epic. It's trending behind Destiny on like 2nd place right now. People are streaming. People are playing. Everybody's having a good experience. There's no major issues of disconnect, bugs, or anything really. It's so good. Like the next 9 months, the next year, it's going to be such a good year.
It's a great time to be in Illuvium. It really is.
It really is. We were talking about that before we started, but yeah, I'm just excited to be here. I feel lucky and blessed to be a part of such a cool project, and I really think Illuvium is about to make waves. I mean, if you don't want to invest, go to church if you're scared, bro. I don't know what to tell you. You don't have to invest. Just play the game. Just try it out. If you're here from like the Team Liquid deal and you're just like checking out different content, just give it a try. Don't buy anything. Give it a try and check it out and give it a fair shot, and then you can make your judgment.
Definitely. All right. Well, now I am ending this. Thanks everyone for watching.